Hello and welcome to the Knitty Kitties channel, and I'm Any Art Netty. Now today in front of me you will see the Brother Scan and Cut CM900 machine. Now I did originally have a Cricut maker which had a lot of faults to it. I found personally it seemed to me that it was a lot of hacks to try and work out everything and make it correct. I hope that made sense. But yeah, this, I find it just does the job and it works. It's basically, to me, it's like the difference between a Mac and a PC. So I'm going to always prefer PC, but there'll be people who prefer Mac and prefer the Cricut. Anyway, so if you're wondering what it comes with, so you can just open the machine and use it straight away. It does seem intimidating at first, but I'm just going to explain it in layman's terms so you can just open it, and hopefully this will help a few people. So you see there's a stylus that comes with it. You can use this to press things on the screen, and you don't use your fingers on it because it can damage the screen. So just type a little message in there. So yeah, you get me. That's just for using the screen with, and there's a little holder at the back of that so you don't lose it, but I'm just going to pop it there because I'm a rebel. The other things that come with it are two mats. One is a standard mat and the other is a low tack adhesive mat. There's a little holder there so you don't lose your things. There is just a general cutter blade, should I say, and a blade holder. Now then, when you first use this and you get it out of the box, it's quite confusing, or some people find it confusing. There's a little cover on that with 3 holes. Now that is to stop you stabbing yourself, which won't be any good. Take that off and you'll see that the blade comes through there. There's different settings on it, 1 to 12, and if you go to 12 you can just see it popping out there. Put that back just for safety. And you can change the cut pressure and all that sort of stuff on the machine and the speed, but this is just one particular setting on there that you can do with that, and that goes in that little holder there. Another thing that comes with it is a pen holder. Now that opens like that. These are the pens that come with it: pink, red, green, black, brown and blue, and one-handed here. So let's pick on the red because that's a nice colour. So that goes in the top there so you don't lose the lid, and that pops in there, and you can write nice little messages and draw little pictures with that. The machine will do that, and you can pretend that you drew them. Also included with the machine is these 2 little pens here. So at the minute we're in an epidemic with the virus that must not be named, and a lot of people are making face masks like myself, and you need, with fabric, this can cut the fabric and it can also put a seam allowance on it with these 2 pens. Now one thing you don't want when you're making a project is for it to have permanent pen marks on it. These pens, the ink disappears when it's exposed to air after a while, and also it just washes out. So that's a brilliant little addition, just that purple and blue there. What else is with it? There's this as well to get your projects off the canvas mat because they are sticky. I tend to use, Brother won't like me for this, but I do tend to use my Cricut one because it's a bit more substantial, but we'll keep that between us. So, and some good additional things to have with this that you have to buy separately, but I find eBay is brilliant for getting stuff like this, is a universal pen holder, so you can use your own pens and you're not just stuck to what comes with the machine. So I'll show you that a bit more in depth later. Of course, with making face masks or blankets or whatever you want to make, you want a fabric blade and blade holder. So that was the blade I got that quite cheap off eBay. And that's the blade holder. They're all different colours. You'll see the one to cut thin card is aqua blue. This one's like a greyish black colour. I shall show you fabric in another video because it's a bit more in depth. I don't want to throw too much out there in the first video. Another thing you can buy separate is the embossing tool set. Now, I got in touch with Brother because you need an activation code. So, you have to actually buy the premium kit, which is separate, and that's got all the stuff in it, though you can buy the stuff separate. There's little bits like embossing mats and stuff like that, but you have to buy the kit. So quite why that's on sale on its own. I'd imagine if your embossing tool is broke or something like that, because they're not different sizes. But we did get in touch with Brother about that, and they were shocked that that was on sale separately. So I don't know, if you get caught by that and you see the bits separate, the only bit worth buying, excuse me, the only bits worth buying separate are the metal sheets and the embossing mats, because that will eventually, the one that comes with the kit will eventually, you will eventually need another one. Just, I can't imagine the tools, I can imagine that they'll last a long while. So yeah, just be aware of that. Do buy the kit first, because otherwise you need an activation to be able to do the embossing on the machine. So first thing we're going to do is to cut out a simple shape from a piece of thin cardboard. Right, so we've moved on to the part of the video where we're going to talk more in depth about the pens, writing little thank you notes, and it also draws for you, and it draws very neatly. You can pretend it's your writing and drawing if you want to. So, as I explained before, I'll get the blue because I really like that colour. So that little lid goes in the top there. There's a minus sign there, and you just press on that and very easily it pops open. The pen goes in there. You don't really have to press it down, it just stays in really. And that's it, in there. And you pop that in the machine there. You'll see the Brother logo there, use that for reference. So it's facing that way, the Brother logo out, and that just pops down. And you're ready to write a message or a picture with that. Now, if we go onto the machine, you can see the screen, type on pattern, and we'll choose something quite, I'll tell you what, we'll do a little message. So there's a few pages to choose from. The one I usually use is this one. So we're just going to write Nitty Kitty, whoops, let's do that again. You can use, if you just press that one, it erases a letter, so it's in capitals. Let's go back to lowercase, Nitty Kitties, and press OK. And on here you can change how big, how small it's going to be. So it's 23, nearly 24 centimetres. So see this bit at the top here, we'll change that down to about somewhere, let me think, 76 mil, 81, That'll do, 90mm. And we want to add, if I can find it, see this little one here? Somewhere here it's got animals. So we can add, oh there it is, a picture of a kitty. We'll just size him or her down a bit, 56, that'll do. And just that. You can turn that round if you want to face the other way. He's that way, he's that way. We'll change him round that way. And then we can pop him here. And just move the writing down a little as well. So, okay. And then all you need to do then is select draw. Then, the next thing I wanted to show you is the universal pen holder, which is made by Brother as well. And this is if you want to use your own pens and you don't want to be stuck with just the ones that come with the machine. So I really like this gold pen. I want to try out a few and hope come to this back to this again in more detail and see which pens work better. Because some may not work very well with it. There's a few I've tried with like glittering and they didn't react very good with it. It was almost like it'd do like a thin line and then a thick line, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try this metallic one because it's really pretty. And before I do that, I wanted to show you something on the machine because at first it's quite confusing. So I've saved a file into the machine because it remembers them, which is very handy to have them stored on the machine. So you press OK and then you press to go back home again and it says OK to delete all patterns, and at that point you think, is that going to delete everything I've just done? It won't. You press OK and you can find all of those patterns that you've saved in that saved data there. Now this bit is on the machine and that's via USB and that's via your PC. So if you press that you've saved it on the machine, lo and behold, all your patterns are there saved, so there's no need to worry about that. So going back onto the universal pen holder, that's the packaging that it's in, and it tells you actually the difference between thickness and thinness between on the barrel, what will fit in it. When you think universal you think anything, but there is a specific size. So the way I'm going to set this up, this extra bit comes with it. You'll be familiar now with this video that bit goes in there, and you got the Brother logo facing forwards like that. So this bit moves across. What you've got to do, because it fits in some teeth there, see this bit, you've got to lift that up and move it along, and then if you look in this bit, looks like a space rocket or something. You can see that there's teeth that come in and out with that, like a cog there. So yeah, they come in and out so you can fit any size within that difference. Any size pen in there. So I'm going to think that this is a thicker pen. I'm going to make sure I don't lose that lid and pop that in. It won't fit in, so I need to have it on the bigger satin, so it will go in there. Now before I do that, I've got to line up there with those arrows and it fits in. And see there, that can get quite messy actually, so you do need to clean that regularly so you don't get any other pens contaminating others. It's not quite ready yet because you need to tighten that up and make sure it's gonna stay in there. So move that over as far as you can and that will be locked in. So that's gonna help you get the right amount there of where the pen should be so it can write neatly, and then it just goes in there. It fits where it sits there, but you've got to give it just a little press down, not too much. Put the logo again, that's facing forwards, and you've locked it in and you're ready to go and use your own pens. So in this next bit of the video we're going to show how to use the embossing tool set, which is a premium kit. This is separate from the actual machine when you purchase it, so you have to have an activation code to be able to use embossing. And this is the one that I bought separately, but when you get the premium kit you actually get that as well. There's two different sizes. There's a 1.5mm and there's a 3mm. And all that does really, I'm going to use the 3mm because hopefully that will show up better for us. You've got that bit facing forwards, you can see there's an arrow, there, an arrow, an arrow. Oh yeah, do you know what? You've got to take that bit off first. That's not just going to fit in on its own. So in it goes, and it just slides in there, and you can see that bit poking out the end, and then you pop that back in there, and again it goes in the holder there. You got your Brother logo facing forwards. You don't really have to press that down much, it doesn't click in, but this secures it in. Also included, which I'll show you the box, in the premium starter kit, you get a mat, which you can also buy separately. Again, eBay is brilliant for that. The tool holder, which I just showed you then, and the two embossing tools, as there's the 1.5 and there's the other size as well, which is the 3mm, which is in the machine ready to go. You get a silver metal sheet, which is actually aluminium, and you get a brass metal sheet, which is copper. There's a template sheet, which is actually for a different type of embossing, which is where you'll make it into card rather than metal. So there's two different types, and I shall link you to a video with a lady who's very good at, her knowledge of scan and cut is very impressive. I'll link that there for you. So there's also a scanning support sheet to make sure that's stuck down fast. And there's an activation card which has got a pin number on it. It's like 11 or 12 digits long, and you'll set that up on the Canvas workspace, which is free. You can do most of the things, 99% of the things on the machine, but the Canvas workspace is good for just those extra bits that you can do on your PC, and you can just automatically send over to your machine. Now that will unlock 50 patterns as well, which you'll be able to find on the Canvas workspace. And there's the instruction guide as well, which is very, very clear and easy to understand. So I've got the mat set up here. That has got the embossing pad on it, and all I need to do is just put a piece of metal on top of that. I'm going to be using the copper one, and we're going to do a really nice design on that. Not sure what we're going to do with it yet, whether we're going to make it into a card or what, but we'll see what it looks like. You'll be able to see it's line embossing, and in another video I'm going to show you another type of embossing which is to do on card rather than metal. So that's to enjoy and look out for in another video. So, what did you think of the results? They were just very simple demonstrations to show you the paper cutting, the pens and the embossing onto metal. That's the line embossing. So I just wanted to explain a little bit about the line embossing. We noticed that the light was shining on the metal, so we turned off one of the lights. So we tried to bump up the lighting as much as we could with the camera, so fingers crossed that turns out okay. But if it doesn't work out, I'll leave it in the description below about that. So I'm going to leave you a link up there to an expert on this. She does a fantastic video of how to use that technique I did with this. You will notice that there's plastic covering both sides. That is because if you didn't have that plastic on it, this has got a scan on it, scan and cut. The scanner is glass, and if you were to cut and emboss without that plastic on, it could potentially damage the scanner. Also, whatever you do, do not cut metal at all with or without plastic, because again, it may damage the scanner and you don't want to do that. So just use some scissors or some tin snips or something like that. Don't cut it at all. But as for embossing, keep these plastic covers on and use the embossing mat and you'll be fine. So you'll notice this bit is indented on this side, and on this bit you can see it's come out. So it's pressed that design into it. I believe you can make your own designs with this if you draw them in. I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem. If you don't like the 50 designs that are on it, I'm sure there's plenty more options, especially because it's got a scanner on it. The world is your oyster as far as that's concerned. Now that's just a simple shape that it's cut out. It's cut it very nice and precisely. So that's just a simple one. Again, you can draw your own designs in. And did you notice I used both sides? Trying to save the environment there in our own way, but they've worked out really, really nice. So I hope you enjoyed that video. There's more to come again, more in depth, but that's just a basic intro into it and one of the premium kits you can get, so you can open it straight out the box and use it straight away. Basically, it's really simple. So let me know in the comments if there's a particular part of the scan and cut that you want me to explain in more detail. I'll happily do that. Obviously there's more videos coming with the vinyl, with the fabric and with the other type of embossing. And please do like and subscribe, and obviously comment away, good or bad. We want all feedback, is brilliant. Obviously the lighting situation, we are aware of that. We will look at it when the time comes to process the video and see how it turns out, and try and bump up the lighting as much as possible without the metal shining in your face. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again on the Knitty Kitties channel. Bye bye for now.